every time the GOP takes over, there's always this conversation about we have to cut
Social Security.
Social Security has to be cut. It's the only way that we can balance the budget. We all know that a lot of this stuff, you can go from a variety of different articles that are out there right now. There was another article that came out on the Hill today, Social Security, Medicare clash comes down to what constitutes a cut.
That's sort of like what the definition of is. Is that like what we're talking about? What the definition is of a cut? Are we really arguing that?
It seems so commonplace as far as I can see that the only reason we talk about we have to do this Social Security or Medicare cut is because we will never be cutting the budget of the rich. We're not doing that. We are going to cut the budget of those who need help. And why do we need help, my friend? Because austerity is what keeps people scared to death of changing anything. Tell me I'm wrong.
It's murder.
It is. And what's fascinating is that people's Social Security is their money.
Well, hold on. No, Jen, I'm going to school you out of that. I really am.
Okay, I know what you're saying. It isn't.
It's super important, though.
The point is that these people have been working that and in their mind, and this is something that they've been contributing to. So It's sort of like that's the deal.
Can you open the link I just sent you. I sent you a link in the private chat.
Yeah. Okay.
If you can't do it, you can let me share.
We
got it.
Well, it's a Substack that you have to subscribe to. So if it doesn't let you in, is my point.
I see. Yeah,
I'll happily.
We have paywall, right?
Yeah. So if you want, I can share it. That's not a problem at all.
It lets me read like half the article. So let me pull it and
you could tell us about this.
I'll pull that up because I think it'll be good. It'll obviously be important because, Stephanie obviously knows her stuff. And so can we still afford Social Security and Medicare?
All right. So what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yes. If we scroll down here to what she's done is she references Scott Fulwiler, who is a great economic mind from the University of Kansas, Missouri. And he is also a adjunct at Torrens University in Australia. This guy is a brilliant man, and he is one of the leading voices on understanding Social Security. So I want to read, if you don't mind, this section of what he writes.
All right.
And it says, there are 3 separate issues regarding ability to provide Social Security, Medicare in future years: financial ability to pay, legal authority to pay, and productive capacity to provide increasing standards of living to future workers and non-workers. Unfortunately, these 3 separate issues are not kept separate in public discourse by journalists, policymakers, Social Security and Medicare trustees, and even economists. First, though, let's understand that Social Security and Medicare trust funds are about the legal authority to provide benefits. They are not about the financial ability to provide benefits at all. And then she references this. I'll quickly flip. Let me see if there's any value in that. Yeah, saving Social Security from its saviors is a good one. We can go back to that some other time. But I'm just going to go back to this. It says, in the future, if the payroll tax does not cover legal authority to pay all benefits in Social Security, Medicare cash in the bonds owned by the trust fund, government will get legal authority to pay benefits via general revenues or selling securities in deficit. But this is exactly what government would do without trust funds: get legal authority to pay benefits beyond payroll revenues, either from general revenues or selling securities, deficit. Because government does the same thing with or without trust funds do not provide financial ability to pay, only legal ability to pay. But just as sufficient balances in trust funds provide no financial ability to pay shortfalls, shortfall is not a legitimate argument against financial ability to pay. Financial ability to pay, to provide future benefits, is never in question for a monetary sovereign. Financial ability to pay is a policy choice, not a constraint.
Yeah.
Greenspan, and we've talked about this. We've had this link in our last time we talked about this.
You want me to add this to the stream?
Yeah. I mean, I think I think it's very much important, but let me finish reading this because it's only like two more things. Okay. A couple more. He says, legal authority to pay is also a policy choice, not a constraint. For example, government could pass a law giving trust funds 100% interest per year. Remember, trust funds aren't about finance, so it's not a problem financially, which would provide legal authority to pay Social Security, Medicare forever. Another example of providing legal authority to pay for future benefits is to pass a law saying government will pay full benefits, period. Nothing else. That's it. And she explains how we do this in some cases, and she got all this other stuff down here. So bottom line, let's just say it. The bottom line about Social Security is the ability, the legal authority to say, yes, make the payments. The federal government goes, you sure? They're like, yes. And the federal government creates new money and spends new money into existence to make every payment. It is never broke. It can't go broke, period. And so the idea of giving that air cover and allowing the lie to live on, FICA is the most regressive tax on the planet, bar none. Right. Get rid of FICA taxes altogether, completely. Make Social Security a right to all citizens. Make it so that there is no pay-in for Social Security, period. So the idea, and it's not just this is literally a matter of changing 4 words in the actual current Social Security legislation. Instead of the authority to pay, just say Congress will pay. And it's done. Just like Medicare. You know, Medicare is a trust fund, but guess what? If the Medicare trust fund doesn't have any money, who cares? They don't care. All payments are always made, period. There is no issue of, well, the Medicare trust fund's running out of. Nope. Not a penny. Doesn't matter. Does not matter at all because they added the simple language of Congress will make payments, period.
So the question becomes when the libertarian austerity hawks like Clint Russell, who came on, or other members of the political right that see this as micro and macroeconomics are the exact same thing, meaning that the way you balance—
Can't cure stupid, dude. You just can't cure stupid.
Be that as it may, if state and local budgets are not the same as federal, and somebody were to say, all right, well, why don't we just give everybody Social Security? Why don't we just give everybody this, that, and the other thing? And the argument becomes, well, doesn't that devalue our currency?
Has nothing to do with our currency.
Okay, so and obviously the response that Clint gave regarding that our currency is completely tied to the petrodollar. I'm not even going to entertain that. There is an argument to be made for how much the petrodollar plays a role. That's fine, but to say that the petrodollar dictates what the value of our dollar is, I mean, I couldn't even believe he said that. Nevertheless, what do you say to somebody who says there's a limit to how much money we can print and give to the people, if you will?
Okay, first of all, there is a limit, but the limit is inflation, real inflation, okay? The problem here is this. During this pandemic, what did we see? We saw the government spend money to keep the world afloat while we were shut down, okay? And so what did that signal to a lot of these companies? Because truly disgraceful people run around saying that printing money causes inflation. These companies know that the brain trust of this population is down below kindergarten level when it comes to macroeconomics. And so they know when they say, oh my God, you printed all this money, now we got inflation. Nobody stops to say, huh? How'd that happen? How does a stack of money sitting here on this table create inflation? Do me a favor, I got time. Man, I'll pop my popcorn. I'll get my beer. Let's talk. Smoke a J. Tell me how that stack of money creates inflation. If you can't answer that question, I've got an elbow of truth to drop from the top rope. It's like, come on, answer the question. How the hell did that stack of money create inflation? It didn't. You guys, and you saw it, 833% profits.
Yeah.
You saw 500% profits. You saw gouging across the board. Why? Because trash libertarians spread this nonsense and it's repeated ad nauseum. And then instead of punching up, at the price gouging, these wastoids punch down like, you mooching some bitch. They're just printing money. They're destroying money. They're destroying the currency. Goddamn, we're on a gold standard, right? Right? Ain't that what it is? No, dummy, it's not. We're not on a gold standard. We're not fucking on a gold standard. I'm sorry, Charlie. We aren't.
You've
Gold
debated
standard in
him, right?
1972.
You debated. I don't subscribe to debates, but
I did one of those things. I don't know if you ever saw Muhammad Ali when he did the shutter step.
I know what you're talking about.
I did that stuff. I was like, boop. I mean, I'm with all due respect, nice enough guy. I have no animus toward him as a human being. His mind, though, wow.
Well, you know what
wow.
it is? It's like, to me, it is somebody who basically was traumatized and their whole life and that was pulled out from under them. And somebody who was generally used to some amount of privilege in society, a small business owner, and their whole world came undone, and somebody has to be accountable for that.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.